LootBet, online esports betting. Dota, CSGO, Overwatch, Hearthstone, and many more. Bet on tournament matches or in-game events while viewing them live. Deposit using money, bitcoins, or even skins. Join LootBet now. Use the code you see here when you deposit and grab your bonus.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the StarSeries qualifiers. We're going to be going into our one and only game of today. For some reason this is like bugged out, so let's hope that is that going to fix it? Well, it looks like the betting things I was going to show may have to wait, as for some reason it won't let me... Oh, there we go. Now it will pop up. This is what we're looking for. Yeah, just going to show some odds, some all that good stuff for the game up and coming... Oh, no, never mind. Doesn't look like we are. Wait. We need to change it to StarSeries, then to Windigo. Now we can show it. And if you look at the odds, there we go. Windigo, going to be heavily favored going into this one. Not overly surprised. I think they'll be the same for pretty much all of the maps. They definitely looking like the better team at the moment. And I don't disagree with that factor. I definitely think that in terms of recent performances, they are looking like a team to beat online, so definitely looking forward to see what they have to offer in this one. Either way, we are going into our knife round. Ships hasn't bought any armor, so he's going to be a little bit more vulnerable with the knife, but other than that, it is going to be fairly normal. And, you know, I definitely think eXtatus have what it takes to win this game. The problem is, I just think Windigo have looked better. They put up a strong performance versus AGO. Could have taken that series, maybe even should have taken that series, so... yeah, I'm looking forward to more or less seeing them, well, they should take this. Either way, in terms of vetoes, we had first map pick, eXtatus went with overpass. Then we've got Cobble coming up, and the third and final map, if needed, is going to be Mirage. And, yeah, actually, SK Francis K has actually put that in the chat for us. So there you go, there's a whole veto for anybody who is wondering and can't be bothered to go to HLTV or doesn't have insider info like me, of course. But yeah, we're going to be getting underway fairly shortly. Punisher, I hope you use that XM during the game, because I am a big fan of this very weapon. Actually, oh, here we go. If only he does this in the match, that would be impressive. But, yeah. I actually somewhat expect this to be a 2-0. I think Windigo have actually been pretty good. Overpass recently, their choice of Cobble is another strong map, so yeah, it's more or less waiting for it to see if eXtatus can actually show up to the table and perform the way that they were a few months ago, when they actually looked a lot deadlier as a team. Either way, we are going to be going into our pistol. Punisher has himself the kit, couple of flashbangs. Zedko will be there with the remaining utility. Frozen is, I don't know about the best. He's pretty damn good though. He's a beast. That's a better way of putting it. We are going to have quick push in towards this B site by the looks of things. TT's already with 4 members on this site, so going for the classic read. Smoke thrown in over towards heaven, and while the battles have started and Bubble just waiting patiently for his opportunity, it's actually going to be his teammate cleaning things up. Punisher already with 2, and the bomb left on the site is going to make things very difficult indeed for this T site to get back into the round. Frozen and Zedko, the 2 remaining. Ships is low. The thing is that they need to pick up a kill on the other side before anything else can be done, and Punisher even going to be utilizing those flashbangs to leave them just that little bit worse for wear. Either way, though, it's more down to the T's to actually make their move, and the problem is there's so many angles to actually clear. There you go, 2 quick kills. Somehow they are getting back into this one. Frozen already finding one, a second for him as well, and well, that's a 2v4. I don't know how they've managed to pull that off. Windigo somewhat throwing away the pistol round, and I think that's a pretty big mistake early on. Either way, totally didn't just get up to open the window. Don't know what you're talking about. Don't know what you're implying. I've been sat here the whole time. You're all liars. Hey, Hunter. Hello, SRNK0. Actually, I just assumed you meant me when you said best caster. That's a bit much. Bubble, that's also a bit much. He's just found a double out of nowhere with the CZ. We know what this weapon can do. And you mentioned Frozen. He is already dead. He's dead. He hasn't managed to do anything in this round. AK is going to be retrieved at least, so the weaponry still somewhat favors the T side, but with those CZs in play, I'm not even so sure it does anymore. This is what Counter-Strike has become. In certain battles, the AK is weaker. The AK, the supposed, or what should be the best gun in the game, realistically. Okay, maybe it should be the AWP, depending on your opinion. Or if you're going on price, it should be the M249. But let's move away from that. Let's just, you know, let's move away from that factor. Money isn't everything. Clearly, that weapon shows it, but 30 seconds left. eXtatus making their way towards this A site. Victor going to be in the corner, waiting patiently. Oh no, it's gone wrong, but he does manage to at least get one. And now the rotation can be called by the remainder of his teammates, but it is somehow back to a 2 versus 2. Again, a detrimental position that somehow has come out with the T side, I would say, on top, but not for long. It's left all onto Monty. He's got the MAC-10. There isn't a kit, but Ships has actually managed to retrieve an AK-47. He still wins the battle, though. And Punisher now has to end this pretty quickly. As said, he doesn't have a kit. It looked like the CTs had this in the bag, and somehow Monty has made it so that that is not the case. Punisher just going to attempt to bait out his opponents, but the chances are Monty can guess that there isn't a kit. And, well, this should be easy enough. Nice attempt from Windigo. I think there'll be a temptation to force again. And I feel like if anybody's going to do it, it will be some Bulgarians, because the Bulgarians love to force. That's always been a factor of their gameplay. Not so much in this current team, which is something I like, but I don't know. I think Punisher should at least buy Kevlar. That's $650. I think that's worth it. Maybe he won't. May just want to save. I can see both ways. Like 650 could be an extra couple of nades or a kit and a flashbang, but oh, they're lying. Yeah, they wanted to say the 1 HP difference. That was the crushing blow, because they thought he was only 22 HP, and he was actually 23, or the other way around. They were so much closer. Either way, though, yeah, they don't invest into Kevlar. I almost wonder. I see. For me, it's worth it because you get 1 kill. Like, okay, you're on 2,500. You drop down to what, 1,850? That's still enough to buy in the next round. And he could do a ridiculous amount of damage here. However, each to their own. Punisher is going to be sat somewhat in a bit of a bait position. He has a chance to line them up. There's no flashbang, so it's going to be quite difficult. He just has to hit pretty much instant headshots, and he'll get 1 extra $300 made and 1 taking it down. But it is going to be 3-0 in the end. T-side are going to be in the lead, and let's see what Punisher invests his extra money into. He buys an incendiary. You know what? I can get behind that. That extra $600 does go towards something that I can accept. AWP in for Spallan as well. Nothing else behind it. And there still actually won't be a kit for the CT side. So they do have some vulnerabilities. Who will win? I think Windigo. I think they're the better team at the moment, especially online. But who knows? It's a different day. And already, Bubble, oh, he just about gets away with that. He's going to be able to fall back towards the site. Hey, Ripe Guardian, how's it going? Interesting. The thing I find interesting about this team is it does vary who picks up the AWP. Both Spallan and Bubble can AWP, and I would say Bubble's probably the primary, but there's just certain maps where he doesn't necessarily want to actually play. I'm having a project for school going through all the CS majors and writing the winners. I felt like that's not a very long project. What, 2/3 per year? I feel like you could do that in about 10 minutes. In fact, with Liquipedia or HLTV, it probably wouldn't even take that long. I wish I had homework like that. That's easy. Maybe if you have to do something with it. Bubble. Going to be going aggressive. I'm not sure. Maybe Devil was lighting up some sort of smoke. Yeah, no, that's exactly what they're doing. It just looked like he was staring at the floor. Looked a little bit insane, but we are going to see the smokes thrown down. Second man rotated over towards the site. Spallan will find the opener. And okay, that's disgusting. That's absolutely filth. Punisher there as well. And Questone just got sent to the Shadow Realm. That's just absolutely disgusting. Frozen will at least be able to net one kill, but the time is against him. He's only got 10 seconds, and he's actually just going to save. Understandable, wants to keep his weapon, and, yeah. That's just ludicrous. That's not the only thing in the project. Okay, I was about to say, just like, I have written down, everybody who won a major, see you later. I'm out, sir. And he's just like, this is science. Why are you giving this to... This doesn't even make any sense, Jerry. I think me and you, Jerry, we'd make a great show. I think it'd be about a cat and a mouse. Probably involve me chasing you a lot. T-side. They are going to be gathering up over towards this B site. 3 players here already, and the CT side have still some limitations. A UMP into the hands of ships. I am back, you are correct. They are just going to be looking to try and sneak down. Ships is ready and waiting, but he loses that opening duel. In fact, multiple duels have gone the other way, but the same can be said in return. Leaving it onto Bubble, who... Okay. From Spallan's view, that looked like he was slightly mental. Slightly. And by slightly, I mean, completely. You ain't back. Oh, okay. Thanks, Chillad. Should face Crush Envy again tomorrow. Probably. I feel like just the firepower on that team should be enough to run over Envy. I'd be very surprised. And Devil, even going to finish off Spallan in the end. Not really sure what Spallan's plan was towards the end of that round, but hey, clearly knows something better than I do already. Tactical pause called by Windigo. This is something I actually do quite like about this team, is they're very willing to take pauses. I appreciate that. I will say in this situation, I'm not really sure what the pause is about. Maybe discussing just economy, whether or not it's worth actually forcing into this round. I would say probably, as you're going to have 2 players in a weak scenario in the next anyway, so realistically, just saving here, what, you get an extra 1900, it's still a pretty shoddy buy, unless you're just planning to save for 2 rounds, but that's pretty risky. You know what else is pretty... I think I've opened that window wrong. Oh, no, there we go. Okay, now it's weirder. Okay, now it makes sense. I was just watching them really slowly buy, just like, are they investing or are they saving? But now it's just Spallan saving a little bit of money. Do you like eXtatus? Yes. I think they got a lot of talent. I think Devil's a damn good AWPer. Obviously, Frozen is in there as well. Definitely going to have to go and sort out what I've done to that window. It's one of those ones where if you turn the handle to the top, it, like, opens just the top bit. But if you open it to the side, it opens, like, sideways. But I've managed to open it slightly to the top and slightly to the side, so the window's just sort of almost falling off. So I definitely have to go and deal with that in a second. But either way, I'll wait until a moment when you won't even realize I've gone. It could be now. But it's not. It could be. It could have been. Window's far enough away that you will probably be able to tell. Either way, Victor is going to kick things off with a Deeg. They did come close to winning themselves a second round force buy, so you don't want to give away too much to this Windigo side. They've got 3 players over towards this long spot. Frozen is going to cut in through the middle and make things very difficult indeed, and that split is enough. Already 2 players remaining for the CT. He's going to be looking to try and clutch this out, although I feel like the likelihood is slim. They've got the gamble correct on the site, but the fact is the bomb can quite easily just duck back if it really wants to. And that's exactly what it would do. Ships will be left alone. Probably going to try and steal a weapon or two away, but the fact is... Oh, okay, he has found a Galil. It's probably not what he was hoping for. There may be another weapon further back. Do you think the Frozen can play on a major? Which team will get him? I've said it before, I don't know how good his English is. I've been told that he can understand it quite well, but maybe he can't speak it quite as well, which, obviously being so young, that's not really that much of a problem. What I will say is, most of the time, these mixed teams, they sort of come out of nowhere. Like, take Imperial or previously Man's Not Hot. That was just 5 players who just decided, hey, let's just make a team together. And then they got picked up by an organization. With Mouse Sports, it was, okay, it wasn't working, let's kick a couple of players, let's add another in. Okay, that's not working, let's remove one more player and add another. Like, it's not so much like, hey, let's just interchange one player. So, saying Frozen, like Mouse Sports or FaZe or someone like that, obviously FaZe is quite a push. And Mouse Sports as well. I think Mouse Sports are incredible at the moment. But, I think, like, realistically, choosing a team that he will go to is impossible. I think there'll be plenty looking to pick him up, mainly the second he turns 16, or maybe a little bit later, just to see if he can prove himself, because at the moment, he's too much of a liability. Ships, that is an excellent shot, but it doesn't last very long. The AK has been picked up, and they do actually manage to find one more kill, and the T's are somewhat stumped. They've slowed down. I'm just going to be waiting to see how they react. A couple of AKs now picked up for Windigo, although they don't have any armor. So they shouldn't have a chance in winning this round. Shouldn't being the main word in that sentence, because crazier things have happened in Counter-Strike. This is basically an eco. That would be cool. Oscar and Sticko alongside Frozen. But then who are you removing? Because that's the big thing. What? Sunny, Chris J, Rops. I highly doubt any of them are being removed anytime soon. Here we go, though. Bubble does manage to find one more. Still got another AK on the site. In fact, Bubble's picked up another, but Monty should be able to end this. Never mind. Victor hits the instant headshot and leaves it all onto Devil, who's going to fall as well. What a great round from Victor. Windigo's still one back, and now we'll have a huge bolster in their buy. Did anybody notice? Tactical pause called in from eXtatus. Not overly surprised after what just transpired in the previous round. Chris J. Yeah, the thing is, at the moment, there is no reason for Mouse Sports to make any changes. They've won themselves, like, StarSeries not too long ago. They've had some pretty good performances. I haven't actually had the time to watch much of Marseille, so I don't know how they're doing there. They played yet today? Either way, though. T-side, they have opted to force already. It will be a nice start. Zedko's going to pick up a double. It will be traded back. Victor still sat on the site. Oh, they lost to NIP. 2-1. T's not actually going to opt to push off the back of it. And I actually don't mind this decision. They have the man advantage as it is. They can just hope that the CTs go for some sort of rotations, and actually just waiting patiently could be enough, although I do wonder if Punisher actually spotted the man crossing back. And also that was the man with the bomb, so high chance that they do actually have the information here. Punisher He's going to be waiting patiently. It's actually his teammate Victor to do the work with the first, but Punisher now the only one left on the site. 3 players pushing his way, trying to fall back, and is going to be caught by Monty. A nice double onto the site. Bubble now going to be the only one left. Once again in a 1 versus 3, and this is another chance for a reset round onto Windigo. Nice shot from Bubble to at least net 1. Almost gets the second, but almost isn't going to win anything, and he needs pretty much an instant kill onto Devil. Oh, did he spot the pixel there? I don't think he did. Very slim margin for error. By the looks of it, Bubble doesn't have much choice but to save his gun. Now, he does have a little bit of extra cash, could drop a weapon, Spallan could buy up an AWP, they could risk a force, but at the same time, it is going to be 6-2 in favor of eXtatus on the T side, and they're looking pretty strong so far.
Terrorists win.
Guardian said when he finished. Yeah, I heard that when he finishes with FaZe. But that's the thing, though. At the moment, he's in one of the best teams. He is raking in a huge amount of money. He seems pretty happy. I don't see that happening anytime soon. And by the time he does look to retire from that team... Well, that's the thing. It depends if he does just leave that team. So... It's very easy to say in a reflections video, like, yeah, when I'm done with the team I'm currently in, I'll create a Czechoslovakian team. But I think that could be a load of rubbish. If he gets a better offer from somewhere else, I'm sure he's not just going to throw in his career to create a team. Will FaZe crush Envy again? Probably. We meet again. Yes. Hello, Torres. Oh, you're named after Torres. I bet that was great for the first few years when he was at, like, Liverpool, and then after that, wasn't so fun being called Torres anymore. Bubble. Going for aggression. They have actually forced into this one, and, well, they net a first couple of kills on the back of Bubble, but the trades back are going to be worthwhile for eXtatus. It is still a couple of rifles actually in the hands of the CT side, so in terms of those early trades, they're not so bad. Ships with the Deeg hasn't been bad so far either. It's actually Spallan who's been relatively quiet, and considering he's the AWPer for the team, that is fairly worrying. Yeah, him and Torres and Chelsea was well, let's just say Liverpool definitely made their money's worth. Do you have your own channel? Yes, it is just the channel that everybody ats, like at Tombiz, but I really don't stream very often, so I would say it's probably not worth doing anything there. Unless you want some awful I was going to say emotes, but it's a singular emote. Here we go, though. T-side, they've doubled back. They are going to be pushing into the hands of Victor. That's been decent so far. He's actually just going to stand... okay, Victor. Just stand in the Molotov. That's fine. Don't worry. I'm sure they don't hurt. I don't even... I genuinely don't understand. He paid the 50 million with the semi-final goal versus Barcelona. Well, I suppose you could argue that, but he was still trash for the rest of the time. CT side, just going to be sat with USPs in this round. T's, they've had a lot of close ones. That's the thing. You look at their money and it isn't anything too impressive, but the fact is they're just grinding out rounds. And Windigo have yet to string anything together. It's just been 2 individual rounds that have left them in quite a horrible position. 7 rounds already for eXtatus. I will say Windigo are normally pretty good at the T side, so maybe there's not too much to worry about there just yet, but at the same time, this is pretty bleak. Oh, did he carry the Europa League trophy? Did he also win the Mickey Mouse Cup? No, I'm kidding. I'm a Tottenham fan. We don't win anything, so that's fine. Actually, that's a lie. We win the Golden Boot, but just maybe not this year. Does that count? Does that golden boot count as a trophy? Patience is the aim of the game for the T side. Not wanting to run into the stack, which is currently over towards the A site. So, seems unlikely that they will. And, yeah, completely clear. Simplistic round for eXtatus. Got it absolutely flawless in the end. And, yeah, Windigo, I guess they try and get a gun. That's pretty much all they can really do. Not looking like they're going to go for too much. Maybe just hoping that somebody goes a little bit more aggressive. No SMGs for the other side, so yeah, eXtatus can just sit back, relax, and hold on to all of their weaponry. We're going to see Windigo now just realize, okay, they're not coming. Let's go say hello. And, oh, they get one. They're actually going to get two. This is far more than I ever expected that they would get. I tapped the bomb. And I would like to see them tap the bomb. Or at least before that incendiary went down. That's one of my favorite plays I think I've ever seen was from Flusher on Mirage. He had a USP. It was a 1 versus 5. And he just walked in and tapped the bomb. And it doesn't seem like much, but I think 2 or 3 players then turned around in panic just thinking he had a kit. And he killed that many people with the bomb. And it was just genius. It was such a small thing that he did, but he just pretended he was defusing and everybody panicked. Brilliant. Here we go. Windigo. Buying once again. It's been a sort of horrible start to this game for them. Just getting their economy broken every time they manage anything. Once again, it's looking like another B setup. Let's see if this time they can hold it down. It's looking good so far. Ships and Punisher spraying down. However, we've seen some crazy comebacks so far, but it doesn't look like this time. Devil left alone. 1 versus 4. Basically needs a miracle. Basically needs an incredible level mistake to come in. Otherwise, well, I highly doubt they'll be around coming in for eXtatus. Now, as said, there's been a lot of costly rounds for them. Like, never really having more than 3 people survive. Actually, have they had more than 3? Oh, there we go, 4. Other than that, there you go, just once. So it does mean that they haven't built up a huge amount of cash, even though they've been stringing a lot of rounds together. So the save of this AWP will actually be fairly worthwhile for them. Now, obviously, from the CT side, they've never had any money either. So they're probably just going to be sat back going, yeah, don't really want to risk this one.
Counter-terrorists win.
Yeah, it's Tombies. Woo! It's Komor. Komar. K0MAW. How do you think our game versus Burnley will end? Well, considering I'm pretty sure your manager is attempting to get fired, Burnley will probably win. That's what it seems like at the moment. Just like, you know what? Just give me the money. I'm going to keep putting out Murata, even though he's clearly shown that he's a potato. Or at least attempting him before he gets injured every single time. Was pretty good. Komor. Okay, I'll take it. Here we go, though. Frozen. That's just dirty. Dirty first kill. Punisher's already gone, and... oh. We are looking to see whether or not there's going to be any sort of reaction back from Windigo. It looks like they're sleeping at the moment. Obviously, this isn't their map choice, but I didn't expect eXtatus to win this so convincingly, or at least do what they're doing so far. 8-3 up, a man advantage going into the 9th. You enjoy the casting and the conversations before you go to work. I'm down. Give me a year to come to G2. I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting. A little bit of a fake being thrown in. Questone. is going to be watching. Spallan, I think, spotted him, but yeah, Spallan just hasn't been able to connect a shot today. I don't know what's going on. He's currently 2 and 11, and he's been purchasing up that AWP so many times, which seems to limit his utility every single time, and leaves him with quite a bit of a problem. Luckily for them, Bubble is on the scene, popping heads, and then getting popped himself, leaving Victor and Ships as the only 2 remaining. Once again, an advantageous position. A chance to deny the plant, but Ships isn't going to take it. He's going to wait for the angle. Monty just takes him down within seconds. He's been having a great game. 11 and 8, obviously frozen. 12 and 4. Young Times will have Luis Enrique. Money talks. Money talks, that's what I'm going to say. Is this a recast? Definitely a recast. DX_plates. I've just been watching you for a long time. You're not old enough to travel to play games. Fair dues. I can wait. Hopefully I'll still be casting by them. Won't have said something so ridiculously stupid that I've been fired. It's a shame that over the next year, it's probably going to be... Because now Chelsea have had a bad enough season that they're going to feel like they need to buy the league again. We're going to have Man United still trying to buy the league. We're going to have Man City who have already bought the league. We're going to have Chelsea who now feel again that they need to buy the league. And then Tottenham, who I support, just sat there like, please stop buying our players. Please, just leave us alone. No, Real Madrid. We don't want any more special relationships. Stop taking bail and not paying us. In 3 years, you'll be a millionaire. Well, then you can employ me to cast for you, personally. He just wanted the shoutcast to get mad. It takes a lot to get me annoyed, to be honest. Oh, Spallan. The problem was FPS. Give me 3 years. Okay. 3 years, I'll be 26 years old. Ugh, that sounds dirty. I don't know. I feel like Arsenal, they're given enough finances to make like one big player, but it's not the same as like Chelsea or City or Man United, where they can just be like, yeah, we're just going to spend 400 million. You're just like, but how's that fair? Well, technically, because we've done this with our finances, it's not actually against financial fair play now. Yes, it is. Toggle on the cam. I'm currently sat in my pants, so I'm definitely not going to do that. I mean, what? I'm wearing a suit, tie. I've combed my non-existent hair. My tie is actually purple, with pretty flowers on it. See, now you don't know what to think. It just depends what type of person you think I am. Would I cast in a suit? No. Who would cast at home in a suit? Is the mic muted? Oh, that's a shame. For some people, that would probably be a positive. Either way, Spallan, looking to fix his problems. I do feel like it's weird that the FPS problems began after 13 rounds. You would cast in a suit, a birthday suit, that's fair. They have earned 400 million, why isn't it fair to spend it? Well, the millionaire who bought them has earned 400 million. You would cast in a suit if it was in a studio, I assume. Not in a suit, I'd cast in a shirt. Suit is a little bit much. At an event, like a top event, I would. Yeah, but you know most of those companies like do some rubbish where it's like, oh yeah, well, it's like what PSG did. Yes, we've bought Neymar for 200 million or whatever it was, but we're gonna pay it over 5 years so that it's okay. Oh, get out. That's what they do in football. It's like, yes, but because we're paying it over 17 decades, it's fine. They just like get round the rules. It takes away the point. They didn't win the league, they bought it. Yes. Yeah, pretty much. I think that the only, like, what? So they've got... Aguero's still pretty good. Imagine Zontaras and Frozen picked up on one team. If they could both understand each other, that would be pretty cool, but... After the only English thing I distinctly remember Zontaras saying is, I'm feeling thank you, I'm not sure that will work too well. Oh, Spallan's back. Can you beat Thor in Savage? No. Haha, yeah, gave you 3 years. Then make better rules. Well, I don't make the rules. If I made the rules, then I'd have just lit Arsenal's stadium on fire. And just walked away. They'd be like, what do you mean this isn't a rule? It's like, it is now. I make it so Chelsea aren't allowed to change manager for the next 17 years. Now that would be a lot of fun. Be led by that buffoon. Either way, the change doesn't seem to have made much of a difference. Questone is already going to kick things off. Bobble does manage to hit one with the scout though, so it is traded. Is Twitch broken? I don't know, is it? T side once again, going to be lurking outside this B site. They've now had another reset round, which is not as bad as last time, mainly because there was a little bit of extra money. It is a best of 3. It says best of 3 in the middle of the screens. Zeko going to find another opener. Doesn't quite manage to get Victor, but does a lot of damage. Punisher looking to run in on the flank, but the site has already fallen. Spot's frozen, and how is the CZ able to do that? Doesn't make any sense. Devil catches one more, and now it is all left onto Bubble. He does some damage, but damage isn't enough, and it is going to be 10 and 3. How much you get paid? I'm just not going to answer that. What do you mean, Hunter? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. It doesn't say anything about the match at the top of the screen. Nothing. Like, you're delusional. If only I knew how many maps that were being played. No, I'm just winding you up. Conte is still one more than Spurs, though. See, I hate when people, like, use that as an argument. It's like, oh, yeah, he's won more than someone who's won nothing. With $1 bajillion! How do you draw? Haha, with magic. T-side once again. Just gonna be going with pistols. It's been a game of resets for Windigo. Unable to streak any rounds together. Well, they are going to be coming in on a quick flank. The problem is... Well, I don't know. This could... Ooh. What are the T's doing? They've stopped. Are they setting up... Yeah, they're setting up Molotovs. Well, this is going to be a nice surprise for Devil. There's one. Are they... Oh, he's missed that one. He's going to get another chance, but now he should get overwhelmed, and that's exactly what happens. Monty's going to be there to try and defend the honor of his teammate and stop them getting that AWP. And Spallan with 1 health. Problem is where the talent goes to get noticed and picked up by real teams. That is hurtful. I don't know what you're talking about. (11 and 3). eXtatus absolutely dominating at this point. Victor has gone full YOLO mode and decided to buy an AUG. And I don't mean an organization, I mean the AUG. Not a weapon you see very often. In fact, not a weapon you see at all. Frozen, he's doing pretty well, 15 and 5. You've taken away, you've added an assist and you've given him a death. Unless you're in front somehow, you sidekick man. Let's see, is he going to get an assist and die this round? If so, Unbury, I'm reporting you for hacking and telling the future. What Premier League team do you support, Tottenham? Here we go, though. Quez, he's managed to get past the CTs, but the CTs have also managed to get past Quez. So this could be a bit of a problem for them. The fact is, the T side have been going into this B site so often that I'm not really surprised that they're just abandoning towards A. Monty actually going to drop the bomb. Now this could be interesting, but, well, okay, never mind. Instant headshot. Catches one man from behind. I don't even think anybody knows what's going on anymore. Questone has the A site. Punisher is still on short. And he's about to bump into Zedko, who's probably going to die. Then the rest are looking to try and go in towards the B site. The bomb's rotating towards A because Quez has a good position towards A. And now they're rotating back towards A because I think somebody may have spotted Questone. No, they didn't. Even I'm confused. I have the map and I don't know what's going on. Victor sat in the corner with an AUG. And yeah, that's about right. But now there's a quick flank from Punisher. He's going to drop the bomb. He actually has a good chance here. If he gets this kill onto Frozen, they've won. But he doesn't. 12 and 3. That was ridiculous. There you go. SG, I'm not so sure why it's not used more. Because that one tap to the head is actually kind of filthy. It could be down to movement and the fact that in a sort of quick scenario, you're gonna have some sort of problem. Like, I think that's it. Like, if you're walking around, you have to scope in to hit the instant headshot rather than like sort of spraying. Especially on the CT side, but the AUG has more of an AK level spray. It doesn't really make much sense when you can just have the rifle, which is far more accurate. So I don't know, it hasn't really come into fashion. Rush B from Windigo. There's nobody on B. It is looking like a retake. Molotov doesn't land, but it doesn't matter anyway. And Zedko's already managed to find one. Already in on the flank. It is going to be a quick trade back, but they do have a kit ready and waiting. Question is, can the T's give themselves a lifeline? Quick trade. Frozen in from above, already picks off one, looks for a little bit more, but he's bought time for his teammates, and that's exactly what they needed. Bomb goes down, so that's something for Windigo to play with, but the pistol still goes the other way. I don't know what's happening with Windigo. I think they're a very sporadic team. I think that's the biggest problem. Like, when they are playing well, they all seem to just step up and they get pumped up. I think Bulgarians in general seem to be like very emotional. You see it a lot on social media. And I think that means that when things are going badly, they normally continue to go bad. I don't really remember any crazy comebacks from Windigo. At the same time, I think when they get off to a rolling start, they can be unstoppable against some of the better teams. So, it's sort of a difficult scenario to be in. Oh, there you go. Nice little Kobe coming out from Bubble. They will find the opening pick. They forced into this round. Again, not surprising. 13 and 3 down. Things are looking pretty bleak. CT side. Very, very close to taking things over the line. Frozen is going to be up close. He's been having a great game so far. 19 and 6. Has support from Zedko at a distance. Who may be about to spot the players out over towards long. Are they going to check the angle, though? Not quite. Frozen still only manages to get one. It's going to be a quick trade, and Zedko has quite a few players pushing in his direction, and he doesn't actually seem to realize that they've managed to cross over onto long already without him knowing. That's the big problem. That little bit of information. He's just going to look to actually try and fall back a bit here, and I think it may have just been that push coming over towards B that have baited them in. Nice shot from Ships will close it, and that's going to leave just Devil remaining. No real chance for him to win this round, and I think just saving the rifle may be the better idea. How did it come that you always cast eXtatus? They're in a lot of these qualifiers. What are the maps? Next map is going to be Cobblestone, and the final is Mirage. Either way, it is looking like we'll live to fight another day, unless... Surely not. Oh, he'd need a very quick kill here. No, it's not going to happen. I like the idea. I like the balls of Devil to actually go for that. But, yeah, Ships was waiting. It looked like they were all going to back off for a second and just run for the hills, but... Nah. Smart move to come back in, save it. CT side are now going to look to force themselves. See if they can actually turn anything round. I guess he's the main commentator on this game. Yeah, I'm employed by StarLadder, so that's somewhat a reasonable assumption. There's a few other people doing like NA and stuff as well, and parallel games on the second stream. Although there aren't any today, this is the only match being played on StarLadder. Obviously, there is the DreamHack games as well. I don't actually know what's going on in that Liquid versus... Is Liquid Astralis, right? Decent matchup. CT side have gone for the stack over towards B, and while the bomb's slowly making its way towards long, suggests that their stack may be misplaced. I have not cast anything on DreamHack, so no. Already, Monty does manage to pick off one, but again, Zedko looks to rotate a little early and now spots all of his opponents pushing through long. Bomb is going to be going down. I don't think there's much they can do about that. The question is, any chance of a retake? All the players just going to be barreling in. Ships will burn one down and cooks his opponent. That smoke actually leaves a bit of a gap, and while Frozen almost manages to find the angle. Either way, are going to have an attempted push back in. Bubble just tapping them down, and that is 3 headshots within a matter of seconds. Left all onto Devil, and by the looks of things, it is just going to be a fairly simplistic round for Windigo. 5-13. The next is not going to be much of an investment at all, as eXtatus are forced into a save. No. Cooking someone is not cannibalism. Eating someone is cannibalism. You don't even have to cook them. Hey, Gupper Games. How are you? I don't think that's true, Comore. Mainly because Harry Kane doesn't play for Chelsea. I think I would know. I'd be very tilted. Once again, push onto B already from the T's. They've netted all the information, and Punisher just waiting around the corner. He's about to have a lot of players pushing in his direction. They're going to try and overwhelm him, and Punisher, he doesn't even get a kill. Bubble is up above. Should just be able to farm up the remainder. Going up that ladder is suicide. But either way, they're trapped. Victor slowly tapping them down. The FAMAS is something that Devil will probably want to try and save, but chances are slim. Chips will be able to close it. 6-13, Windigo will at least get to begin their T side. And they've got plenty of money to play with, at least. I wouldn't even be surprised if Ships just opts to get rid of that SMG. There's so few rounds to play with that I don't really see the value of keeping it. Unless you're going to have some strategy specifically based around an SMG, I just don't think it's worth it. CT side now have a buy of their own. And look to invest a fair amount, but they don't have themselves a full set of utility or a kit. And 3 of the players don't even have head armor, which in a normal scenario, absolutely fine. In a scenario where your opponent has bought an MP9, not so dandy. Either way, look at this from the CT side. They're taking the initiative. That flashbang is flawless, though. Ships has just destroyed the defense from eXtatus. I say defense, it was basically offense. I have no idea how Devil wins that battle, though. Hey, wall across. Is it wall lacrosse? That seems like you put an extra L in there. You gotta go eat. Enjoy. They are going to be pushing now. Devil, 22 HP. I don't know about you, but his HP is 22. Well, not anymore. It's 0. Doesn't quite work in the same sense. Questone is going to be left into a 1 versus 2 scenario. Ships is low, but he doesn't have a kit. And nobody did on the CT side, so time is of the essence. Bomb actually only just going down, so he does actually have a decent amount of time. However, so many angles left to check. That's the one thing about this bead site. There's plenty of places to hide. And even if you discover where your opponents are, there's a lot of places to scurry to as well. They can fall back into the corners and lurk in the backlines. The fact is, Questone now doesn't have any time, so really wants to get out of there. But he's not going to be allowed to. His head will be shot off by Ships. And it will be 13-7. 4 rounds in a row now for the T side. At least the lost bonus builds up for eXtatus, but streak continues. Windigo comeback, you say? Maybe if you believe. Put the game on the big TV in your living room while you eat. I've got the game on a big TV myself. Mainly because I can then read what you guys are saying. CT side actually not going to invest too much. They want to make sure they have all the trimmings or the utility they desire going into the next round. Only a few pistols, most of them not buying Kevlar, and Zedco is already dead. Question is there going to be any sort of resurgence here? Frozen, only buying a P250 maybe suggests he's going to buy up a secondary AWP. He almost manages to get the head of Ships, but not quite. 14 HP. CT side are going to be rotating all the way through the spawn. Finding themselves a decent amount of information. Questone on the site itself. They're just making sure that they clear all of the angles. Now this connector push is basically just to make sure that nobody's cut through while they're waiting. But the fact is, Monty will have spot both players, and the bomb tapping at range does damage to Bubble, but can now call in support to watch players from behind. It will be now the T's taking things flawlessly. The difference down to 5 as Windigo streak rounds on their T side. But this is going to be the first big buy we get from eXtatus. Double AWP set up straight in. Frozen and Devil picking up 1 apiece. The rest with rifles and utility. Watched LCS finals while eating dinner with your parents. My mum actually watches like quite a bit of CS, especially when I'm doing like an event. She'll stick it on the TV. And she sent me messages before like, oh, me and your grandparents are watching you cast. I'm just like, oh god. Oh god. I remember I was on Jinx TV once and they asked me what my favourite French phrase was. And I couldn't think of anything. So I said, voulez-vous coucher avec moi? And my auntie then went, why was that your favourite French phrase? And I went, I'm sorry. That was an awkward family dinner. I'll be honest. CT side have taken some early aggression, but aren't going to spot anything out as of yet. They need to continue to string rounds together. A break back from eXtatus could be enough. They are only 3 rounds away. Translate the French saying, please. You can, no. No, I'm not doing that. It's something along the lines of, like, will you come home with me tonight? But in a slightly more seductive way. Frozen. They bypassed him. They've walked straight past the young star. They are going to realize where he is now and already start to clean up the remaining players. Nice work from Punisher to close him down before anything more can be done. And the remaining CTs are just going to have to save. This is starting to get scary now. 6 rounds in a row for Windigo on their opponent's map pick. I said that this team definitely seemed to be based off momentum and can streak rounds together. I also said that they seem to be better on their T sides, and that is definitely looking like the case at the moment. Well, they've already got more rounds on their T side than they did in the whole of the first half. eXtatus as well, beginning to look a little bit flat. They've got the max loss bonus behind them, but at the same time, they're going to need somebody or a few members to step up. First grandparents to know what the media is. Oh, definitely not. Watching my grandparents try and use, like, technology is hilarious. Questone actually does manage to farm up the remaining kills and almost gets an AWP, but almost isn't quite enough. And the T's, they have so much money that realistically removing that one gun was actually reasonable for them. Not perfect, but not bad. I would say that, like, watching older people use technology is like watching a monkey trying to open a coconut. Like, you know that they'll probably get there in the end, but you still just look at them just going, that's your technique, just keep hitting it. That's what you're doing. And it's great, because my mum always like, oh yeah, I'm pretty good at technology, aren't I, Tom? It's like, no, you're not. At all. You can just about use an iPad, which is one of the most simplistic forms of technology. Either way, enough about my family and attempts to use technology. We are looking at a 13-9 scoreline, a comeback beginning to mount for Windigo. And eXtatus, they're taking risks now, pushing straight through the smoke. They'll be met by Bubble, and the trade definitely doesn't seem to be worth it. I wonder if the T's will look to just barrel onto the site. Monty is going to be the only defender. Does manage to pick up a first, almost gets a second, but almost doesn't win anything. And the remaining 2 players of Frozen and Questone are going to be all that is left of this defense. And it's more of an offense now, as they have to try and retake the site. Got a decent amount of utility. I'm going to be throwing out some of those nades, clearing angles, checking the closer ones first, and waiting above will be Questone just in case anybody does try to go aggressive. Frozen manages to find one, but they need to get somebody on that bomb pretty quick, and it's execution time from Windigo. They hit their 10th, 7 in a row, and I can imagine eXtatus at this point must be starting to sweat. Once again. Just going to be some pistols this time alongside a scout. Chances seem slim in this round, and Bubble is already going to execute his opponent. eXtatus looked weak on this CT side, and I don't think it's getting any better in this round at least. Dink. We'll come in onto Punisher. It seems like him and Ships just, like, absorb bullets. They'll take a shot to the face and be fine. Look to live a little bit longer. Only Frozen and Monty remain, and once again, it's just patience from this CT side, just waiting for any sort of aggression. And, well, the CTs now just sit back on the site, hoping that somebody will walk into their crosshairs. The fact is they will, but they just don't have the read in time. They're not going to be together. Even if they were, they are overwhelmed and outnumbered. Should be a fairly easy round in the end for Windigo. Although they are letting the clock tick, and that's mainly because Bubble was coming in on a flank. All that's left is Frozen, unless he's going to pull off a 1 versus 5. I feel like chances are slim. Molotov even going to go down to hold him out. And it is going to be an 11th. I don't think there's any doubt about that from Windigo. Even have a man holding even further back. The Punisher is going to end his life. 13 to 11, a streak of 8 now comes in for Windigo. But at least the CT side will have themselves another chance at this double AWP setup. Hefty investment from them. I'm going to go fairly aggressive as well. This really is aggressive. Zedko going to be boosting up his teammate. Frozen going to be looking over the top. There's nobody there. The T's are just waiting patiently. They don't want to take this risk. It's a good angle. One that's pretty hard to counter, but fact is, with nobody peeking, eventually he's going to have to make some sort of move with the smoke fading as well. We'll leave them without too much to play with, and in fact, they're actually going to leave Zedko in a very aggressive position. He has to be careful. If he loses his life, it's going to be a big problem, and already he will. First pick goes the way of the T side. Frozen looking for some sort of trade, but just can't find it at the moment. Nobody giving anything up. Tries to re-aggress. The T's now going to be barreling in onto his position. Cross will be spotted. He has support from Questone on the site. The T's will now look to gather up and hit on towards this A site. Just remember, this was a 12-3, no, 13-3 position. And it's looking like it's about to slip away. Frozen somehow manages to get away with a kill, taking so much damage in the meantime. Actually looks to re-push, and Spallan this time will punish. Re-aggression will be coming out, however, from his teammate, but Quest has to be careful. He has been spotted. He manages to take one, spots the second, but can't do anything more. And again, it's going to be a 3 versus 2. This seems to be the call of the day at the moment. Quick push in. Monty does the damage, but now the bomb is planted and the T's can just look to fall back and bait out that clock. There is a kit onto Monty, but utility is at a bare minimum. I think Devil is going to have to do some work, and he's been fairly quiet so far. Bubble quickly shuts him down, and it is looking like a 12th is inevitable here. Windigo, their streak continues. eXtatus had themselves a 10-round lead, and now it sits at just 1. Once again, eXtatus are going to be set with pistols in hand. What started as such a strong performance out from eXtatus has quickly dwindled into one of weakness. They're still in the lead, but look at the streak. You can't imagine this is going to be lasting long. If Windigo managed to just win, what, 13 rounds back-to-back? eXtatus will definitely have to take a look at their CT side. Once again, it's patience from Windigo. Setting up into a default. You take some sort of test? No. There was some, like, Lithuanian company that I just applied to work for, and basically just sent them me casting MM. They said it was decent, so I did a couple of matches. Then another company said, hey, can you come cast for us? All of this was, like, for free, and eventually just kept doing stuff like that until I ended up talking to a few people from Starladder, and they offered me, I think it was one of the CIS miners. Ooh, that's not bad from Zedco. That's a lot of damage. Actually has the chance to reload as well. Ships is going to just hand the bomb over. And maybe this is where a round is stolen away. Just a chance to equalize things up. And maybe this is where they dwindle. However, from a 4v2 to a 2v2. Frozen on the side. That's disgusting. That's absolutely... How do you do that? And look at the time. He knows it as well. Frozen is just playing with his food. It has to be the kill out. And it's not going to come. It will be Windigo losing a round. And, yeah, Frozen wins it there. Just that little dance he does is enough. Windigo gets so close, but they finally lost a round. Pause called. Windigo probably looking to try and steady themselves after the streak comes to an end. Of course, now is their chance to just reset their opponents and not allow eXtatus to have any cash towards the end of this game. Also the chance that eXtatus can now finish what they started. 13-3 up. It takes them a further 9 rounds before they take their 14th. They've gone for a bit of a gamble here. Looking like they've got the boost in play. Connector control already taken. The thing is, this gives them a good chance to catch somebody crossing, but completely abandons the site and means it has to be a retake. That is exactly what will be happening. Push comes in. Already one for Victor. That is spray control and a half. Dragging down to the floor as he takes both heads. And the CT side seriously have to consider the save. A 13th looking likely, and that's exactly what they'll do. I wouldn't be surprised if the T's go hunting. Look how much money there is over on Windigo. Their 9-round streak was a fruitful one. Frozen will at least catch Punisher, but the hunt continues. Zedco does manage one, but he can't afford to lose his gun. Survival is far more valuable here. But this is it. Tactical pause taken by Windigo. Looking to try and just use their pauses wisely. Does, of course, give a pause over towards their opponent as well. They want to make sure that this comeback is happening. From 13-3 down, we now look 14-13. They stumbled last time. They were close. Double AWP setup going to be in for the CT side. Interestingly, one onto Questone. Not Frozen, who's normally the guy to pick it up on a secondary. Spallan still having a very quiet game so far, but I think if they manage to take this, they're not going to care. Already does a decent amount of damage. Punisher is going to be here, and there's the flashbang nets. One Spallan will trade, but it's going to come out positive this time. Just coming in onto short. Questone gets caught. Trade not going to be coming, and it's left onto Frozen on the site with an awful lot left to do. He doesn't have much support either. Victor just going to run in, doesn't check anything, but Bubble will decapitate Frozen the second he hits that shot. And now it's left all onto Devil. Glass Cannon, AWP, can't afford to run through the Molotov. The reset looming. Their money could be going down the toilet right towards the end of this game. 14-14. Looking likely, unless this man can clutch. Has his trusty AWP in hand, but doesn't have a kit. Needs to try and find one. That's exactly what he's done. Retrieved the kit, goes back towards the bomb. Going to be tapping the bomb, but the Molotov peeks out. He will lose his life and actually looks for the second. Almost gifted it by Bubble, who's just looking to try and run away, but he hits the shot in the end. It will be another round on the board for Windigo. And eXtatus are now left with scraps as they try and save what was such a strong lead. And look how much money there is on the T side. They have no troubles. Even though they've lost so many players in that round, it makes no difference. eXtatus just going to save this time. They've only managed the pistol round and a single round over on their CT side. Normally the stronger side of the two. Now to stop their opponents hitting map point, they have to win what is pretty much a hard eco. They've got Frozen with a little bit, Zedko on a Deagle and a couple of P250s, or just a single P250 in fact. Fact is though, they are just saving to try and take this to overtime. Definitely not what they would have been expecting from 13-3 up. However, Windigo have showed great strength to bring it back this far. Of course, they've still got to take it over the line. It's not over till that fat lady sings. Now that the push has come through long, a lot of information gathered from Windigo. Should soon have themselves the A site. Does seem to be a rotation coming in, however. It may be pulled back as a little bit of utilities being expended. Frozen be lurking round. Head down, jumps up, gets one, but that is all. And he was the one with the majority of the investment in this round. Nice shot from Zedko. Still managing one. They're at least keeping things close in this, but the weaponry just won't allow for too much more. Zedko has to try and pull off something impressive. Spots Spillan. A little bit out of position here. This shouldn't be possible, but somehow they're making it close. Monty looks to try and take the fight, and eventually the T side will close their 15th. Do you remember when you said Windigo haven't done any good comebacks? I do now. Those have been impressive. They got themselves the momentum and they've run with it. 15-14. A chance for them to take things over the line. Bubble even going to drop himself an extra AK. They have so much money here that I don't blame him. And now it all comes down to this. Windigo to take things over the line. The last few rounds have been a little bit sketchier. It's like they've known how close they're getting. With only one buy round. Well, actually, no, it wasn't a buy round. It is actually a force buy with pistols again. So, no buy rounds won by eXtatus. They have to try and win one here. Punisher waits patiently, but loses his life early. Maybe this could be the first that they take. 4 versus 5. No trade in sight just yet. They've lost Punisher, who... one of the top fraggers in the server at the moment. Lots of players in water at the moment for the CTs, so could definitely get a little bit interesting here. They're starting to rotate players back towards the A side, which, from what we can see via the map, is actually the wrong call. Devil's going to be ready and waiting. Peak looking to come in, and he's actually going to win the opener. Quick trade back from Spillan, still. Going to be a man advantage for this CT side. Smoke going to be thrown down to allow them to get the bomb plant, but they do plant it a little bit more open. Monty looking to try and come in on the flank, and he's going to catch Ships, who's not paying attention. doesn't expect anybody to be in on the flank, and they need to try and clear him. They need to get him out of this position. Spallan spots the man, but he loses the battle. It looks like we're heading to overtime. We're not done just yet on this first map. eXtatus will just about keep themselves in it. And it is going to be 15-15. This is a rerun? Yeah, no, it is. It is. It's a simulation by the Illuminati. I've actually... I casted this game like 4 weeks ago, and I'm actually a bit like Darren Brown. I've just been predicting names that I've been guessing and questions. 15-15 overtime has been hit on the map choice of eXtatus after they were 13-3 in the lead. Still, I feel like Windigo are going to be kicking themselves that they didn't take this in the end. We'll be kicking things off on the T side, which has been the more dominant of the two for both teams. However, what I will note is that in terms of Windigo, they were reset a few times every time they got around, and they never really built up like a large amount of cash, whereas with eXtatus, they lost so many in a row that they had money a few times, but just still weren't able to steal rounds away. In fact, the rounds that they won, the only buy round they won was the last of the very last of the regulation time, and the others were both with pistols. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they actually do with a full buy. Orp actually not going to be picked up unless Questone actually decides to retrieve it, so maybe realizing that they don't need it at all. Oh, nope, never mind. Questone will pick it up, so Devil clearly not feeling it at the moment. T's aren't going to retrieve one either, although that's a little bit more understandable. I feel like they haven't had to counter anyone, so a lot of it would only come in during opening picks. Either way, quick aggression into the connector. Both teams here, and look at this from Victory. He's just gone flying through. There are men behind them, but the fact is they're unable to do too much, and there's only actually one man on the site itself. The problem, though, is that the bomb's still in connector. Punisher is alone. He needs to try and escape here. If he goes down, this could be a problem. Instead, he wins the battle. That was such a crucial battle to be won. T's entry themselves on towards this site, just decimating their opponents. It's a wonder they couldn't do this in the last round. Questone with that AWP will at least get one kill. But there isn't much hope for him here. 16-15 will be coming in. Windigo take the lead once more. We're looking at eXtatus to really step up on their CT side. I feel like if Windigo take all of these T rounds, then they will steal one. Here we go, though. Devil this time will retrieve his AWP. Frozen picks up one as well. And Questone has been forced down to a rifle. T's, even with the abundance of cash that they have, and not going to pick up an AWP. Not even to just juggle one around or to have it as that opener and then switch back to a rifle. Not needing it. And I don't blame them. They've been going for some faster plays. Frozen is going to be going for the pick into the connector, but this time they're all making their way through towards that party. Devil is going to be waiting. He's going to be flashed off the angle. Goes for the fight and instead is met with death. Actually, the CT side have to be careful where they're pushed because there's still players lurking in the backlines. It was a trade back from Frozen in the meantime, so not too much of a problem just yet for the CT side. And actually, as the CTs rotate back towards the A site, you see the T's rotating back towards B. Still got a man waiting. Questone Going to be in a bit of an elevated angle, but the fact is if there's a push-through monster, the only man here is going to be Frozen. And he's looking like he's about to take a very aggressive peek, and he finds the kill for himself. A rotational AWPer is what this man is being at the moment, and he even finds a second. Has to be careful on the flank as well. Spallan almost looks like he was going to win that. Instead, Punisher has to be the one to try and fight this back. 2 versus 1. Plenty of utility to be played with. He's going to try and go for a bit of a bait plant, but actually Zedko does almost take the fight. 30 seconds left on the clock. Still a long way left to go, but Monty will take the fight instead. 16-16. CTs get themselves around, but of course there's plenty of money. It's 16k MR3. The chance of you running out of cash is slim. Frozen has now hit his 30th kill, and there's nobody on the other side quite there yet. Here we go, though. Double op setup once again. Bubble will pick one up. As said, before they didn't really have a need to counter, but this time, much more valuable that he does. He left at 13-4. Well, it was actually 13-3 at one point, yeah. It actually got 15-14 in favor of Windigo, and then they didn't win the last round. So, yeah, you know. Zedko finds a first. Actually gets a second as well. There may be a chance that eXtatus will take themselves the lead here. In fact, I think they may. 2 players stand in their way. Spallan, who's been quiet so far, going to be ended by Frozen. It's left in a 1v5 for Bubble with the AWP. I think he and the rest of us both know he doesn't have any hope. 17-16 eXtatus back in the lead after a long stretch of rounds going the other way. The question is now, can they win the final 2 that they need to take this over the line? Guy roasting Sprout, okay. How are you Mosesing? Is that what they're supposed to say? That's awful. Never type that again. This is the pick of eXtatus. Here we go, though. They're now onto the T side, where they did have their prominent run. A